Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options in Play video update. So as we roll through the quarter here, you're going to see more stocks gapping after reporting earnings, and some of those maybe you were involved with, right? You're able to catch like the big gaps, but others you probably weren't involved with, right? And you see a stock move up a bunch or move down a bunch, and you kind of maybe have like some regret from not throwing any trade on for the print. And I get it. I have the same issues too. I wish I was in something that had a big move, but you just can't be in everything, right? And sometimes you just don't know which ones are going to be the biggest movers. So just because a stock does have like a big move, though, I mean, to me, like that doesn't mean like I just write it off, right? Like I continue to like follow those names because a lot of times when you get like a big gap or like a big move, you tend to get follow through, right? So I look for a lot of like post earnings swing setups, right? And like these are like they often take shape maybe like 3 to like 5 sessions, sometimes maybe even like a week after the company reports. Okay, so I call them the 8 EMA catch-up trades. I will say right now in this environment, like more of the bullish 8 EMA catch-up trades are working than the bearish because we're in such like a strong grind higher, right? You're seeing a lot of stocks that gap lower get bought back, right? Like bad news. So like for instance, like Walmart cuts guidance. So Walmart cuts guidance, right? But what happens? It just rips right back up, right? Shopify cuts guidance, bounces right back up, right? So on the downside, it's a little bit tougher because there's such like this like underneath underlying bid where things keep getting bought back. On the upside though, right? You can really find some like nice setups. So like for the financials, like the banks kind of kicked things off, wasn't impressive, but then you had some surprise reports, and all of a sudden the banks were ripping higher, right? So if you were all spun around, turned around, and missed the move, okay, I get it, right? Like you don't want to chase, but now over like the last week or so, right? The XLF, which is the financial sector ETF, consolidated, and you have like the 8 EMA catching up underneath, right? Nice upward rising support after a week long base, after a big move, and now it could be setting up the next leg higher. UNH, right? Say you missed the gap, right? Stock had a big move higher on earnings. Well, you get a few days chop, right? You get the 8 EMA, which is the green line catching up, and then that sets the floor, starts pressure building to the upside, and then you get the extension pass, right? Netflix didn't have a huge gap, but you can see that something similar is forming too, right? You got the move on earnings, few day chop, 8 EMA catches up, sets the floor, starts the pressure building to the upside, and then maybe you get an extension through the top. So I will acknowledge that more of these patterns are working on the upside just due to the overall environment, but it's still something you want to keep an eye on, even the ones that gap lower, because if we do get a pause, or we do get a pullback in the market, those could be the ones that turn lower quickest, right? Stocks that gap lower, struggling to really recover, have that eight EMA catching up on the upside overhead, right? Those could be the ones that start to turn lower and put in lower lows once we do get that pause or pullback. But these are setups I really focus on a few days, maybe like a week and a half after earnings, and I feel like what I do is I just make note. Okay, what are the big gaps? What are the big surprise moves, right? And then just kind of wait, let the setups develop, and then once you see that 8 EMA join, that's really when I start to get interested. Okay. Um, so huge night of earnings. Probably going to get more gaps. So we'll see how tomorrow wraps up the week. It's been a busy, kind of a crazy few days, and I'm really interested to see how these earnings go tonight because I feel like we could see some more wacky moves. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading earnings with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great night. Stay well, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.